Thank you, Mr. President. I very much welcome this report and congratulate Mr. Little-Granger on his work as rapporteur and to the clerks that have worked so quickly on this. Over the week, we've been having discussions in our groups and around the hemicycle about the relevance of Council of Europe and what the perception of the Council of Europe is in our home countries. I think this is a really good example of an all-encompassing report that talks about refugees, it talks about migrants, but it doesn't seek to conflate the two. It is bold enough to talk about security issues and procedures that really need to be changed very, very quickly to avoid the tragic cases that we see thousands of times over the last few years. In the UK, if we, as an example, one of the things that has been bubbling around for a number of years is concern about overall levels of migration. And one of the reasons for that concern, I think, is because people feel that politicians aren't listening to them, aren't actually listening to their concerns, whether it is about infrastructure or whether it's about jobs and welfare and these kind of things. People have a little bit of a distancing from their politicians, their elected politicians. So it's really important that we actually address all of these issues over our period of time as the Council of Europe. But nonetheless, we need to work on tackling this intractable problem of refugees coming in through Turkey, who have done an incredibly difficult job, Greece, Italy. If we are going to work on this, we have to have a coordinated approach. Mr. President and I were in the Moria hotspot, and we saw the tensions at the camp there. But we also heard about the closing of the borders in Macedonia. I met a Slovenian in Lisbon recently who spoke about 200,000 people walking through fields. When you have a population of 2 million people, you can understand their concern and their desperate need for an all-encompassing, Europe-wide, targeted and coordinated response. If we can get that right, and we can not just base our policies on single photos, that tragic photo of Alan Kurdi, which moved everybody, is not sufficient to actually base an all-encompassing policy. That's why we need this coordinated approach, discussion in this place, and take these our ideas back to our respective governments and to the EU. So I will leave it at that, but I would just ask that we actually make sure that in this policy we manage the expectations of those people who also want to come to various countries across the EU and further afield.